Continued fractions. Well, these types of questions, sometimes kids will look at and go, oh my goodness, but I want you to know that this is actually one of my favorite types of questions. And the reason is because it's sort of like unraveling a puzzle, and that is if you can really unravel a puzzle, but it really does feel like that. And if we look at a question here, you'll know why I say that. Here's a continued fractions question. The reason why it's called continued fractions is because you've got a fraction within a fraction within a fraction within a fraction within a fraction. And basically, you have to try and figure out where to start. And when you can figure out where to start, then you can start unraveling it. And it's like a puzzle because numbers are like puzzles. So let's look at here. Where do we start this type of question? Well, you usually start over here, 2/3 minus and the next thing. Well, what comes next? You could figure out the numerator, but you're going to have to calculate that. And then once you calculate that, then you'd have to divide by the denominator. Well, what is a denominator? So you go to the next part and you keep going back, well, 12 1/2 minus all of this. Well, you can't just minus that like that. You have to figure out what this is. You only want a numerator and denominator so you can do this. So that means you have to figure out what this is. And in order to do this, you have to figure out what this is. And in order to do that, you have to figure out what this denominator is down here. So this is the start point, and let's do that. Let's start there, and you'll notice that I put it into steps, and I'm going to label each step so that if I get something wrong, I can go back and figure out where I went wrong. So I encourage you to also label the steps so you can tell where you are and how far you've gone. So step 1 is 5 plus 1/7. So 5 plus 1/7 is equal to 5 1/7. Simple step. Next step would be 3 divided by that 5 1/7. So we label that number 2, and 3 divided by 5 1/7, which is equal to 3 divided by 36 over 7, or 3 times 7 over 36. Let's make sure you know that's a 7. And that is equal to 7 over 12. All right, so you've got this. Now you want to answer this part here, because that's the next thing you can do. You can't do 2 divided by all this yet. You have to know what this is. So step 3 would be the 5/12 minus the 7/12. So 5/12 minus, let's make that a proper 5. 5/12 minus 7/12 is negative 2/12. Now you've got up to here. Now you've got this next step, and now you can do all of this, because step 4 would be just taking that 2 divided by this negative 2/12. So divided by negative 2/12. Well, that is equal to 2. First of all, let's take care of the negative. It's equal to negative 2. So you've got a negative there. And times it by 12 over 2, which would be 2 times 12 over 2 is just negative 12. Okay, so you've got this done. Now you want to figure out all of that. So now you've got 12. So step 5 would be 12 1/2 minus that negative 12. So that's equal to 12 1/2 plus 12. And 12 1/2 plus 12 is just 24 1/2. All right, so you've got 24 1/2. And you need to, that's your denominator down here. Now you need to figure out what your numerator is. So let's just circle this by itself, because it's not including everything else. And that I'm still going to call step 6. And step 6 is 3/8 divided by, and I'm going to immediately write it as an improper fraction. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, which equals 3/8 times 4/9. And these can cancel out nicely. So you've got 1 over 6 in the numerator. So you've basically got 1 over 6 up here, and this whole thing is 24 and 1/2. So let's do that. You've got 1/6, and that's divided by 24 and 1/2, which is 1/6 divided by 49 over 2, or 1/6 times 2 over 49. And that is 3, and 3 times 49, so let's just do 1 over, and 3 times 9 is 27, 3 times 4 is 12, plus the extra 2 is 147, okay? So now this is all 1 over 147. All right, so next step, the last step, is to say 2/3 minus 1 over 147. Now what you have to do is find a common denominator, and 3 will go into 49 times, it looks like. So you want, that's the common denominator, the LCM, and so you multiply this by 49, which is 98, minus 1, and you've got 97 over 147. Phew, we got it. Now, isn't that a neat question? And when you get the final answer, it's pretty nice. Good luck.